All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm going to be giving just a overview and a breakdown of our Stansco angle kit that we've been using on our CTS-V since I would think it was last August. We installed the first test kit and we've made some slight changes to it since, but we have this kit available and in stock, and we have guys out there running it on their first gen CTS-Vs, and I just wanted to give an in-depth overview of all the components that we have with these kits and whatnot, and kind of like what you're getting when you place the order on our website. So to start off this video, what kind of prompted it was that we posted a lot of videos during the design and building process of these kits last year, but now that they've been available and they're out there on the market, we just want to kind of bring it back up and let you guys know some of the changes we've made, but then also, how testing has gone on our car over the last almost year now. And just to let you know, what you're supporting, what you're getting when you support a small business in the V1 community. So we only make V1 parts. We've been around the platform for 11 years now. And we started making these parts in 2022 when we built our CTS-V drift car. And that is kind of what really kicked us off and kind of rebirthed StanceCo as a whole. And I wanted to make affordable performance parts for these cars, primarily for drifting, but we do have some parts in our catalog that anybody can run. But we have some good problem solver parts and some track proven parts. Everything we make, I've used on our drift car on the track many times before even offering it to you guys, and I've taken you along as well as I could on the whole design process behind it and like how we got to our finished product that we offer to you guys. Now, I ran into an issue with a previous customer where they ended up buying an angle kit from another company that advertises as having an angle kit, and they kind of got caught in a tough spot because there is a company out there that's advertising angle kits for the V1s, and none of my business, but I don't think they actually have the kit produced, tested, designed, etc. And this person is kind of just sitting there in limbo, being told, "Oh, we're gonna have this kit in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, whatever it is." And they came to me saying, "What about your kits?" And we have them, we tested them, this is them. So basically, I'm making this video to just kind of bring our angle kits back up and just all of our parts as a whole, bring it up so that it reminds people that we are here, we're real people, we are, locked in on this platform, we're all in the V1 platform, taking it to the top and, seeing where we grow from there. I've also seen people trying to utilize V2 parts on the V1s when it comes to angle, and it just doesn't work properly without some custom pieces. Now, I have seen some guys do it successfully with custom pieces made, but the misconception going around that you can just bolt a V2 front suspension on this car and expect it to perform and work properly and fit properly and all that, it's just not the case. So here we are. I'm going to show you guys what to expect from a first gen CTS-V angle kit from StanceCo and kind of what we're planning on improving upon as time and expanding upon as time goes on. So right now, this looks like a lot. This is our angle block assembly as it would be bolted onto the car. Now, let's start with the individual components. The biggest one is our angle block. 6061 aluminum, CNC'd, really nice piece. You get a right side and a left side. There's your block. Now, the other big CNC'd part here is your lower ball joint adapter. So this is gonna replace the factory lower ball joint in your lower control arm. You're gonna press out your lower ball joint. You're gonna press this piece in. What this does is it converts it to a FK branded spherical bearing that will allow our shank that kind of ties everything together to sit through. So there's your adapter cup right there. That'll press into your lower ball joint. Another small part we have are our adjustable sway bar end links. These come with the kit as well. Adjustable end links, they give you more clearance. So we instruct people to put the bolt heads facing forward so that you actually have more clearance, because the knuckle will actually come in contact with the factory with the factory sway bar end link, and it will reduce your angle. That becomes your stopping point. So these prevent that from happening. And they're also just better than the factory end links. And then we have our rack stops right here. You can slide these onto your rack if you have your tie rods out, or you can cut a little 1/2-inch groove there and then clip them onto your rack. And you can stack these up to basically create a rack stop that will prevent your wheels from rubbing or anything like that. So we have those as well. And you know, you get enough, more than enough, that you'll need with the angle kits. So they come in a little baggie there. And then another custom piece to this are these spacers. Now these spacers are designed because they are angled on one side, and they're designed to work with our blocks, and they will match right up to your blocks. So we get these made out of, I think these are chromoly tubing, and we get them laser cut. So we have the CNC parts, then we have some laser cut parts here. We also have our laser cut Ackerman plates with the dowel pins, and these help set your Ackerman and give you those 2 different Ackerman adjustment points. So let's assemble this. Oh, and one last thing. We have our offset heims. These help with clearance between the lower control arm and your tie rod. So there we go. Now let's jump into the assembly aspect of it. So we have our main tie rod bolt here, and that sits right into here, into this channel, and the top of the bolt will sit nice and flush with your angle block. And then we have our Ackerman plates here, so you'll put your Ackerman adjustment piece in to your desired setting. We usually recommend one of the settings, the outwardmost setting in the instructions, but there you go. Now you have that. And then we'll stack our spacers. We have a little spacer there. We have our heim joint here. Then we have another spacer there. And then we have our nut, a nylock nut. Tighten that down. So that is your new pickup point. I think I put this heim joint on backwards, but you get the point. And then we have this hole that lines up with your factory knuckle. This is going to come up through the bottom, through your factory, or through this hole, through your factory knuckle, and then on top of the knuckle, you're going to have a washer, and you're going to have another nut. And now we have our shank. So on the shank side of things, I'll pull this one out just to show you. I don't have all the pieces right here, but we have enough. So we have this nice big hardened steel shank. Now this taper matches the CTS-V knuckle taper, the factory taper. So that'll sit where your ball joint, your factory ball joint sat. This is kind of what replaces it on the knuckle side. But then, like I said, this is what replaces it on the lower control arm side. So inside our angle block, we have a recessed lip that matches up with this lip right here. So you're gonna slide that guy down in there. And that leaves the perfect amount of space to where this taper tightens up into your knuckle when you tighten down this castle nut, and then presses up against your angle block. Then under here, we're gonna put this zinc coated hardened washer first, and that'll kind of create a little protective layer on our aluminum, because then we're gonna put on our custom angled spacer, laser cut spacer there. That's gonna slide through your lower control arm where this ball joint is gonna be. And then we're gonna have a 1/2-inch spacer that's gonna slide on there, and then this nut, this nylock nut here. That'll tie it all together. And what you're effectively doing is moving your pickup point from out here to in here. You're giving yourself roll center correction by standing your knuckle, your new knuckle mounting point, about 1.5 inches off of your lower control arm. So that's gonna create roll center correction. It's gonna correct the angle of that lower control arm with a lowered vehicle. And then you're gonna have an offset heim for more lower control arm clearance. And it also helps reduce over centering the tie rod on these cars. And then you're gonna have some Ackerman adjustment points there as well. So that is kind of the bulk of the adjustment that you get. Now, the other thing is, you know, you'll have these rack stops so you can adjust accordingly. Then you'll have your adjustable sway bar links here to also adjust accordingly. And basically, we are giving you a 100% bolt-on solution that, say you were selling your car and you want to take it apart you want to take this angle kit off, or you were done drifting, whatever it may be, if for any reason you had to take this kit off, all you have to do is unbolt everything off the kit, press the lower ball joint cup out, put a factory lower ball joint in, your knuckle will then reattach to the lower ball joint, your factory tie rod will go in, and all that will basically bolt up like it was from the factory. No changes necessary, no permanent changes necessary. We also include an adapter to go from your factory inner tie rod to your heim joint outer. So that is a tube adapter that makes up the difference. So, you know, there are no permanent changes made with this kit. One thing also to note, you know, sometimes when guys are throwing big angle or on aggressive tracks, they have bent the inner tie rods. They are very thin on these cars. So what we do is we run EV426 tie rods, and let me grab one here. All right, so I had to ransack my spares kit. This is the adapter tube here with a spare outer heim that I bring with me to events. And then I have a spare EV426 tie rod. Now this is a Moog Problem Solver EV426 part number. And what you end up having to do is cut about 1 inch of threads off the end here. And that will allow you to get the alignment into spec. It gets pretty far up the threads, but that's good because the thickness of this EV426 tie rod is much greater than the factory tie rod. So I've never run into an issue with bending these EV426 tie rods. So just a little tip, if you find yourself bending inners, I know some guys have, myself included, some guys haven't, and they thrash on these things too. So I think it all depends on the kind of tracks you're driving and how much force you have on the front with different wheels and tires and things like that. So I just wanted to show you guys just a little look at the angle kit here and kind of what to expect when you order the angle kit, what you're getting, and just show off some of the features of it, including the fact that it is a, you know, complete bolt-on affair, and it is not permanent. It can be reversed and things like that. You know, we've had good luck with these so far. They're quality pieces. We've had a lot of luck on our car. The steering feel is fantastic in comparison to some of the previous setups we've tried running. And overall, just super proud of this piece that we were able to make something this large for this chassis. So thank you guys for watching. If you like this style video where we just lay everything out on the table and kind of have a little breakdown of the parts that we create and build and sell and offer to you guys, drop a comment down below and let me know, because I can go through every one of our parts in this sense and kind of just give that breakdown of what it looks like and what you should expect to receive when you order from StanceCo. So thank you guys as always for the support. Shout out to the V1 community for, you know, always being there and trusting us with your race builds and your drift builds and things like that. And with that being said, see you guys in the next video.